ब्रह्मचर्य वृद्धि दंडी सर्ववेदांत पंडित श्रीमद्विवेक योगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा. So we learned something about the importance of concentration of the mind. Concentration, Swamiji says, is the key to knowledge. Knock, it shall be opened. So that knocking power lies in our concentration. As we have seen, as we enter into the royal path of Raja Yoga, the security check is asking us, what is it you are carrying? We show our hands up. There is nothing in our hands, no food, no bottle, nothing. Then what is there in your mind? He wants to check the mind to make sure the great statement of Patanjali, yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodhaha. How have you used, abused, or misused the faculties of our mind? Raja Yoga throws open to us an inquiring power to check ourselves. I know there are so much of power in my mind, but how have I used it, wasted it? Did I ever try to concentrate it? That is when we will have to face the check. So he says, it is very important for our mind to be very clean and the dynamo in a working condition, because Raja Yoga teaches us the unification of the body and the mind, integration of the body and the mind. Our thoughts can create havoc on our body, and our body's ailments may disturb our mind. So both of them interact with each other very, very strongly. So we have to train our mind to be a very positive source, because mind is a playground of impressions. How we react with the world outside, we must remember Swamiji's words always, by controlling nature, external and internal. External is very easy. We can go to a room and close the doors and say, sit there and meditate, pretend to meditate. But meditation itself is internal control that we may not be able to achieve. So, this relation between mind and body are very, very important. And as we must have learned during our discourses, why mind should get into this mode of concentration and single pointedness, etc., because we are going to reach the citadel of truth. We are getting on to that absolute, ultimate source of wisdom, power, happiness, Chidananta Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So to get there, we have to be absolutely clean in our mind, body, instrument. So Raja Yoga is a technique of unification of the body and the mind. This unification, even if little we achieved, as Krishna says, Sarpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayal. Unification always leads to peace and happiness. It is the divisive thought processes that create unhappiness and misery. Unification is our goal. No wonder Sri Ramakrishna used to advise his disciples, tie Advaita to the corner of your dress and then do all your work. Swamiji also advises us to keep unity as a prime thought, unify our mind and body, and then the whole universe slowly gets unified within you. So, it is very important for a sadhaka who wants to get into the citadel of knowledge. It is important to concentrate the mind, harmonize the body, mind, intellect, etc. It is important to answer these questions because in the proof of establishing one's unity with truth lies his immortality. Srinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha. How do we call ourselves Amritaputra? The truth and immortality should become within our grasp. Therefore, the training begins with the body itself until ultimately the spirit manifests itself. The central idea in all this training is to attain that power of concentration, the power of meditation by which one can enter into subtler realms of consciousness. If one succeeds in leading the mind to the perfect state of yoga, the moment one knows one's real nature and goes beyond the changes, one sees God. This is the proposition of the science of yoga. In this connection, I am reminded of a very beautiful life incident which came to me through a book. The author of the book is Dr. Joe Dispenza. He had a very major accident. His whole body got crushed. And whoever is the doctor who saw him says, there is no hope for you. You will have to live your whole life on a bed, in a lying position, in a horizontal position. There is no hope of her. We can probably repair one bone here or one muscle there, but whole body is shattered like this. What can we do? And almost all of them gave up. But this man was a scientist or a philosopher with great faith in himself, not in any religious belief or anything. He had great faith in himself. So he says, no, I shall not succumb to this despair. So, as everybody, even family members, everybody had given him up. But he had one good friend. He told him, if you would stand with me, I would like to experiment on myself the powers of my mind on my body. And he goes into a sort of deep tapas. He concentrates all the positive forces in his mind, starts applying it to the injuries on this body. After a few days of great disappointment, nothing was responding. Then the more and more he got disappointed, the more and more he learned to concentrate and positivize his thought. And finally, lo, the body started healing itself. The cracked bones rectified themselves. The jammed muscles released themselves. And within 9 months of intense sadhana, a sadhana in which he never allowed any negative thought to pass through his mind, only positive assertions, and he found with the power of his mind, he could get over all the illnesses of his body. And within 9 months, he started getting up, walking, and attending to his office. It was a miraculous comeback. Nobody could believe that he could come back. And then he took this as a missionary work. He went on training people to think positively, to make the positive mind act on your body. In a way we can say, he started using Raja Yoga principles of Raja Yoga. That is, if your mind is very positive, charged with the immortality of the truth knowledge, then there is no limit to what you can do to yourself. And when you see it working on yourself, you can also embrace in yourself the whole universe. That is how our great teachers, when they got this knowledge, cried out to the world, Shrunvantu Vishwe Amritasya Putra. Like this doctor, when he knew that he could do it, he was sure others can also emulate him and get the results. So Raja Yoga, I am sure, is a much more stronger medicine, and the world is yet to know the significance of this great study of Raja Yoga. It is good. World has opened its eyes to accept Raja Yoga as a great science of self-improvement, and we shall wait and see in the years to come, more and more wonderful truths will emanate from this study by the modern psychologists and scientists into the study of Raja Yoga principles.